Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megara, and today hopefully the lighting is a little bit better than last time because there's actual daylight outside and I'm not relying on entirely electric lighting, but my Christmas tree is in the window, so shit happens. If you're wondering why I haven't got my antlers here today, I'm not sure where I left my antlers. They're somewhere in this room, I'm just not entirely sure where. But today I have an entire full face of Revolution. Now I'm going to put this under the Revolution umbrella brand, because I've got some XX Revolution, some Revolution, some Revolution Pro, some general Revolution stuff. I even have Makeup Obsession down on the floor if I change my mind on what eyeshadow palette I'm going to use even. So yeah, today could be kind of interesting, but all of this is drugstore stuff, because I know I spend a lot of my time using not drugstore stuff, which can be annoying for some people, but I thought I'd just kind of give it a go. And I have got a few friends on my face. I got one here. I never get spots up here. Why has this one suddenly shown its ugly face and my chin? But let's just ignore them. So we're going with the primer first. This is the XX Revolution Hydrafix primer. It's just a blue one. I have quite dry skin. I quite like this. I haven't used this in quite a while, but it lives upside down on my shelf on my makeup counter thing. I have a box of stuff. One day I might get around to showing it on my channel, like how I organise all my makeup and stuff like that. But today is not that day because, well, Ross has still got work to do and he's currently in our bedroom doing his work. Because he is a student. So this leaves my face so nice and tacky. Because XX Revolution is all about kind of mixing skincare and makeup and all that kind of shit in together. Which is great. Really appreciate that because, much to some of my friends' dislike, I am atrocious when it comes to actually remembering to do my skincare. I remembered this morning because my skin was dry, but I don't always remember. So for foundation, I have the XX Revolution foundation. This is the... It does not say what it is on the bottom. I have it in FX1. I believe this is a hydrating one. This is a hydrating one. I just can't remember the exact name for it. I will find out and leave it down in the description with all the details about what I'm using. Now this one might be a bit pale. I haven't used this in a while. I remember in the summer this was a lot too pale for me, but now it looks like it's actually going to be an okay match. And if I remember right, this stuff has some serious coverage. So as you can see, I'm very glowy right now. Like, it's not a bad match. It's a bit pale, but again, some foundations oxidize a bit, but I prefer to be a bit too pale, like a few shades too light, than a few shades too dark, because I have a massive fear of that thanks to the orange faces of my secondary school life. Like, I didn't know how to really find my foundation colour, like undertones or anything, when I started wearing makeup. So I had a lovely tide mark because I just picked up the palest one from Maybelline and it was not pale enough. Because I know with XX Revolution concealer, I'm sorry this is all XX Revolution so far, but it is all Revolution. I got this in CX03, no 0.3. Because I wanted to get this a bit paler than my foundation, and you know, this all happened just as we went into first lockdown, so I had to order it all online. And I actually really do like this concealer. It's quite dry, but I do dig it because it is very full coverage. Don't get me wrong, if they come out with a hydrating version of this one instead, I'll be all over it, but for now I am kind of happy where I am with my makeup collection. My biggest issue is my under eyes, honestly. I'm just going to balance this into my skin because I can. I do have a mirror over here if you're curious. For powder, you guessed it, it's the Revolution Peach Setting Powder. I know the coconut one is lighter, but I don't like the smell of coconut. Just because I'm a little weirdo, basically. So I'm just going to set my entire face down because I'm not planning on doing anything too dramatic today for a change. So I do like to set my under eyes because I've got weirdly big eyes. Okay, now I discovered I've got dry patches coming up on my face, which is great, but I can deal with that. Worse things have happened to my skin. So as you can tell, I am now very, very matte. Like, any glitter or sparkles on my face is basically gone. I've got one bit of glitter that I don't know where it's come from, but I'm just rolling with it at this point. So for bronzer, just to give me a bit of life, I'm going to use the Hydrafix Revolution Coffee Bronzer in Latte. I know how dark this is. Like, I generally just get the tiniest little bit. I'm not sure if I kind of missed something. This is designed for like much darker skin tones. Like, it's designed just to be targeted at like deep skin tones exclusively or something, but I'm being cautious with it. I also know Revolution bronzers can be extreme sometimes. Why have I got a little bit of glitter on my face? Where the hell did you come from? I'm gonna leave it now. This is what happens when I don't tap the brush off a little bit. Like, way too much bronzer. I'm literally tapping it off, swirling it around in the mirror before it goes anywhere near my face. I'm just going to get my powder brush in a minute because I don't normally use a powder brush, and get a little bit of my powder on my brush. Just kind of soften it all down a bit because, well, it needs it. That is much better. It's still definitely warmed my face, but not as dramatically. So, blush brush, swirl it around, and hope I don't go too much. This is the Patricia Bright face palette. I have it in Moonlight Glow because, you know, I'm really pale. I think at points even I could make the moon look tanned. I don't know why I keep doing this, but I'm kind of liking the effect of making me look a bit more alive, you know, and pale. This will help. And for eyebrows, Revolution's own micro brow pencil. I normally use a brow gel, but I don't have a Revolution brow gel. So I'm just gonna brush my hairs through. Discover I have a few stray hairs that need plucking because, you know, a lockdown brow. And I'm gonna attempt to fill my brows in. Now, I spent way too much time on TikTok this weekend, and I've seen people asking, why did British girls have such big eyebrows? Because some of us didn't overpluck our eyebrows during the 90s and noughties, got bullied for them, and just never overplucked them. Well, there are spots in mine that I may have overplucked, but basically I was more subconscious of my brows because everybody else had really skinny brows and I didn't, but mine were basically invisible. So I never really got into that kind of trend of overplucking. Okay, this brow is much fluffier than my normal brow, but I'm literally just doing this all the way through it. So brows are sorted, mostly. Now for those who don't know, I normally do my highlighter last because if there's fallout on my highlight, it really annoys me. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even going to put it on fake freckles because I know that if I try, I'm just going to screw it up. Because that's me in a nutshell. Trying to work out the perfect camera angle when you have to put your tripod away every weekend is a right pain. So, your hair's at least fluffy today. I'm kind of digging it. My hair's got so dark. So for today's eyeshadow, I'm going to do something neutral. I mean, what are the chances it's me? I'm going to be using the Roxy X Revolution. Ooh, you can see my Christmas tree and my ring light. Roxy X Revolution palette. This is the Ride or Die palette. It looks like this. Look at my little Christmas lights, it's so pretty. And yeah, I'm going to go from there. So where's my nice clean? Who am I kidding, it's not clean. Every week I think, Meg, you should clean your eyeshadow brushes more often, and every week I forget, pretty much. So I'm going to go in with a bit of Cookie, which is this colour just here, and it's the colour I use most from this palette. And a bit on my brush. I'm just going to run it through my crease. I'm going to do something kind of neutral and autumny, like oranges and stuff. Just because sometimes I do need to tone it down. And I'm not going to be toning it down this week at work, basically, because I've got a new eyeshadow palette and I want to use it. And honestly, I live for the compliments that I get from at work with it, because I work with some lovely women who, they don't know how I have the time to do it and how I get up so early, and I don't get up early. I just have my, basically I have my morning routine down to a T. So I'm just kind of running this in my crease. It's a nice transition. I'm just going to run it up towards my eyebrows a bit just to wing it out a little bit because I can. I go with Pumpkin, which is this orange just here. If you watched my anti-haul video, you'll see that I'm a bit over Revolution, which is why I kind of thought I'd do this video. Because there's some stuff, like the collabs with these palettes, are so good. Like all the palettes I've got out of my cupboard are collabs. I don't think I own one of their just generic eyeshadow palettes, because everything they do is kind of a lot of it is a knockoff of another brand, or it's just I own too many eyeshadow palettes. I go with a bit of gingerbread just here, and it's just, if I want something good quality, I know not to, I can get really good quality from like Beauty Bay, stuff like that, whereas Revolution just, they set the bar so high for themselves and now they're kind of losing it. I'm going to go in with a bit more of Cookie, that first colour, and a bit of Boo, which is this kind of peachy colour, just to kind of go over the edges. Like they started off by making drugstore makeup exceptionally good, and now because everybody else have kind of caught up to them, like a load of other drugstore brands have caught up to them, they're just kind of not hitting the mark. Like there's things like Beauty Bay, Be Perfect, BH Cosmetics, now Milani's over here. I don't think it's going to be long before we can get Colourpop over here really, like in the UK, but I do feel for them. It's just, they produce so much stuff constantly and I'm just bored. So I'm going to get a flat brush and I'm going to run a bit of Pumpkin and Gingerbread just along my lower lash line. Like, I'm all for brands producing a lot of stuff. Like when they launched XX Revolution, they launched the entire range, so then you've got a full face of stuff, rather than say, oh, here's some foundation, here is some concealer, we're going to just launch some primers on their own with some eyeshadows. Like some brands do, whereas launching it all together is pretty damn ballsy, especially if it's not really tried and tested before. I'm going to add a little bit of Cola, which is this dark brown just here. And I mean, launching a whole new brand in the middle of a pandemic is ballsy in itself. I just love how soft these brushes are. These are Spectrum most of the time, otherwise this one's just a Morphe one I like. So I'm going to go in with Yas, which is this shimmer here that is completely and utterly destroyed, but is such a beautiful shimmer. I'm going to add a little bit of Mars, which is this colour right next to the blue, again on my finger, just because I find these work best with my finger, because they're kind of creamy. And yeah, this is kind of what I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not even going to bother with eyeliner. I do have one, I'm just not going to use it. So I'm going to stick some mascara on. I'm using the Mascara Revolution, which is their own brand, which is the original brand. I'm not sure if it's a worldwide thing, but Makeup Revolution did actually change their name quite a while back, like over a year ago, just to be Revolution. Not entirely sure why, but then they changed their iHeart brand to iHeart Revolution. I'm not even sure if it was just a rebranding thing or it was just a case of this is what people call us, so why don't we just change our names to it? So for highlighter, I'm going to use this, the Fixx Revolution palette, just so then I've got something else to use. I did try this in a video I filmed yesterday as well, which is why it's out. But the second ever highlighter I've hit pan on. So I only hit pan on it yesterday as well, which was quite impressive. So I'm going to use a bit of these four, the top 4 shades. I'm just going to wiggle my brush down, up and down all of them, because when Soph did this highlighter, I mean, he did it pretty darn well. I mean, I'm not somebody who would ever be against too much glow, but he's a little bit that white shade right in my inner corner. I know other YouTubers and influencers come up with other highlighters, but Soph is the one I mainly follow at the moment. Well, that's come up with stuff with Revolution. I'm living for it, because how could you not live for this highlighter? I mean, it's just beautiful. And finally for lipstick, I've got the Revolution Pro lipstick in Cashmere. This is just one of their matte lip bullets. This is the one that used to live in my work bag all the time. I think I took it out for a video and it just never made its way back in. So this is where I'm at. So I will also set it down with a bit of setting spray. Where did I put it? It's under my table. I've got the XX Revolution Hydrafix setting spray, which goes with the Hydrafix primer because it's hydrating. And it just smells fresh. I really like it, and I mean, it adds a little bit extra to that glow of mine. So I'm hoping you like this video. If there's any more Revolution stuff or a particular brand you'd like me to do a full face of, let me know down in the comments. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I upload every Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday is normally me doing something stupid. Friday is normally me doing a foundation Friday. If you want to see the wear test for this, check it out up here. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again on Friday for another lovely video. Bye!